Fourth kind. So now you have to bring a child. Escaping from the political and economic reality will Elijah being more socially successful than Western nations. Even on a lower level, families try hard to make their image look perfect by hiding any flaws, burying any problem and escaping them rather than facing them. But by the end of the day, did this concept succeed? Did it have any positive or negative consequences? Let us discuss it. Especially after 2010 with the social media boom, a lot of scandal went public revealing a better social reality. The fact that has evoked traditional camp defenders to assert that the system worked fine and well. In the main, one thing we cannot argue over. It's the fact that our culture is a shame culture, which we can simplify by one sentence. How people would look at me if I do this. A culture that focuses on pride and honor concepts. In our region, we are consisted mostly of extended families that include our relative beyond the nuclear family. A nuclear family is a simple family consisted of parents and children. Furthermore, families' decisions are taken after the acceptance of the highest in the hierarchical system. The more traditional the family is, the more decisions important does not matter. In Bari, the West adopted a different system, which is individualism. That is distinguished, drawing self-rights and assuming self-responsibilities. Going back to the East, the individual is identified as a part of the group, which makes his decision taking and responsibilities assumed by the whole group. As the reality is changing, the highest in the hierarchical system cannot keep up with the new changes. In contrast, sticking to traditional values, they sit in charge of decision, which make the third generation decisions heavily or even totally influenced by the first generation. After that, we have a much clearer image. We can start picturing how a family works. Perhaps we can best picture it as a cycle. We will take the example of an average family in terms of finance, education, or even location. Family sees the girl as a deficient creature until she gets a husband. In their eyes, a girl's main goal in life is to start a family, raise the kids, and keep her marriage. But to be fair, more the family is educated, more this idea is undermined. I know we already take an average example, but this point is so important to mention. So let's start the final and first phase. So yeah, the main focus in this phase is to get the girl a husband. In consequence, the mother will start to implement, let me call it, princess ideas into the girl's mind instead of implementing a must-study culture. In this case, the girls are given an immense importance to the girly life and fantasizing about the savior, night of dreams. Once the wedding is finished, the wife starts to assume her responsibility of an entire family. Suddenly she faces a horrific reality, a completely different reality than the happy or romantic side that she had imagined. Indeed, facing such a shock is already hard, but facing it with no knowledge is even harder. So the wife will start seeking help from her mother, friends or social media who express the same idea unless somehow they manage to escape the cycle, who will give her the same advice or even comments that they have followed, and therefore she reproduces the same cycle. Before we go to the second phase, let us take a close-up look to the situation. Like in the reading culture, the wife starts to construct a perspective based on struggle that she lives, the same that the older generation lived, because often both of the husband came from the cycle, and translate this perspective into a knowledge that she bequests. On the other hand, if the husband is not from the cycle, either he will take advantage of her life illiteracy or break up with her. Yet if he is not from the cycle, he starts facing and producing the same problems that he inherited from the cycle. However, in this cycle, the man is always the one who should feed the house. As a result, he got all the economic power in his hands, which ensure the male dominance. So exploring the powerful attitude randomly could lead to falling apart. Now, the second phase. The cycle's men are often not truly powerful, which put them in a chaos that affects him and his wife. In this moment, the traditional man's problems start to occur by oppressing the wife, re-establishing the patriarchy, and etc. Picturing the society as a perfect one made us obsessed with hiding our failures. Even if a person faces a situation, a strict decision is rarely taken. The family tries to bury any flaws or problem which make it grow cancerously. This problem can go from simple ones to very complex ones, such as marriage rape, family inside sexual harassment, addiction, and the list never ends. With all this systematic problem, the family extends to include a new member, children's. Which brings us to the third and last phase, the children decision is often taken randomly. Such a decision should be made when the parents are financially and psychologically prepared, and even though it isn't enough, a knowledge about raising a child should be learned from credible resources and multiple perspectives. In that way, the parents could come with their own raising child philosophy. What happens here is so chaotic. Parents do not follow any of these rules. They treat situation according to what they have been told, and all the responsibility is taken by the woman. This way we reproduce the cycle, and the cycle never stops. Yet the decision to escape the cycle is tough, but possible. But how can we escape the cycle? First, we should admit our flaws, recognize that our problems are not independent. In fact, they are part of one systematic problem. Secondly, education. Education is the most necessary factor to break the cycle, but not incomplete education. A general broad education which consists of well prepared for the citizen, socially, philosophically, and knowledgeably. And finally, we should reconsider the whole system and be brave to revolt against it and gain more individual freedom, because dependence doesn't mean love. Instead, it results into disappearance and melting in the group system. Nearly all the families wish the best for their children. No one is evil, but the system is. It is not therefore to carry it out, but it's therefore not to break it out. Yes, we do love our families, and they also do. So such a change should not be done or responded aggressively. Instead, it should be done slowly by persuading and dialogue.